Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, Mike Powell is getting hot under the collar about thermal. We have news, we have hunting YouTube, we have Hallo Charlie. First, do you want to know where your bullet's going? Tim Pilbeam has got his hands on some tracer rounds. The trouble with bullets is that they're rather fast, so when you start shooting and you hear about the arc of fire or windage, it's something you have to take on trust. Well, Tim of the Pilbeam likes nothing more than testing and tinkering with bullets and bolt actions, and when the UK was blown about a bit last week, he thought it would be the perfect opportunity to demonstrate stuff like how a bullet deviates in flight. But first we have a ping pong ball.
You want to chase after it?
There, that proves it's windy. So sprightly for a man in his 60s.
We're in sunny Sussex. It's very, very windy today. The wind meter's telling me it's between 20 and 30 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour is a lot of wind, especially for the hunter. So hopefully today we can just demonstrate how much wind drift we can get from shooting an animal-sized target. We'll be shooting between 200 and 300 yards away, which is plenty far enough. I think most people wouldn't even think about shooting an animal at that distance in this wind. We're just trying to show practically how a bullet actually can move off target. And if we can just show people that, you have to allow for wind, and sometimes, well, perhaps today we'll find out if we over-allow or under-allow for wind. I know exactly what I do, but I think it's the thing we've got to be very, very aware of, that you get a big gust coming through. There's a gust coming through at the moment, it's about 30 miles an hour. That's going to push a bullet quite a long way. So let's have a play. Let's just see what we can do in windy conditions, and we may all learn something.
So what about these bullets?
To demonstrate wind drift, we thought we'd use some tracers. Standard military tracers. I think they're about 150 odd grains. We're using 308. And this is what goes through machine guns, or that's what the military use. Most tracers light up around about the 150-200 yard mark, so it's be quite tricky to see it, but we're rather hoping that the last 100 metres we're to see that arc of fire. One thing to be wary of is that tracers are not the most accurate of bullets, so if we can just demonstrate how much that tracer, how much the bullet is actually moving because of the wind, we've done our job today.
Here's some stuff we discovered on Tinternet. Tracers are commonplace in warfare and were used in the First and Second World Wars. They make it easier for machine gunners to find their targets. They're designed to ignite 150 or so yards out so as not to blind the shooter. Tracers make it more likely for a target to explode. Of course, we are purely using these bullets as a visual aid. For Tim's first shot, he's going to shoot directly at the vital zone on this rose steel target. The high-speed camera picks up the impact. Here we can see that the tracer lands nowhere near it. The ballistic data shows a 2-foot drift in 30-mile-an-hour winds at 300 yards for the 308 hunting round, but stronger gusts near the target could push the bullet much further. Tim now compensates for the wind and aims off. This time he hits the mark, which by his own admission has surprised him.
That's very, very interesting. So I allowed 2 foot in front of the row target, and fortunately today I managed to get two shots within about 3 inches of each other in this wind, so therefore the wind's fairly consistent. From my personal experience, I always over-allow for wind. So just a thing to consider sometimes is that go out, practice, and see how much wind deflection there is, all depending on what ammunition you use. Heavier ammunition, generally, they're a bit more stable. You start shooting the lighter ammunition, the 75 grain Foxing 243 bullets, and you'll find actually sometimes they do deviate quite a bit, but sometimes I found that the faster the bullet, i.e. the smaller rounds, sometimes out to about 200 or 300 yards, they hardly move a thing. So the point is, get out there in conditions like this, safely practice with a decent backstop and see what happens to your bullets. It's very, very good practice.
With only a few tracers left, Tim wants to shoot at a steel fox target 500 yards away. We hope we will be able to see the bullet drop.
The wind's actually coming from over here somewhere, about between 1 and 2 o'clock. It's still blowing my bullet quite a far way over, which is quite interesting. So you can see the bullet dropping 50 odd, 55 inches, and also it's been blown across the valley here by about 2 foot. It's just very, very interesting. It's just lovely to see that path, that bullet going down to the backstop. So just an interesting visual experiment to demonstrate how the tracer works.
So just a reminder, this isn't science, it's just an illustration that shooting practice in all conditions is a good thing to do, but know your limits and guesswork has no place when shooting quarry. Thank you, Tim. Lovely to watch. Now, less lovely to watch, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. A Conservative victory in last week's UK general election gives hope that Tony Blair's ban on hunting may be repealed, but it isn't going to be easy. More than 20% of the MPs who voted to ban fox hunting in 2004 are still in Parliament. If they voted the same way, hunting with dogs would still be banned by 77 votes to 62. The good news is that if everyone votes along the same party lines as 2004, and if everyone in the House of Commons votes, then we repeal the ban by a majority of 1. Also, we know that shooting is in a better state. Basque's excellent election website shows that a majority of MPs in the new House of Commons have made public statements in support of shooting. 350 MPs, 54%, are supportive of shooting, 16 undecided, 11 of them are anti, and 265 views are unknown. The Australia RSPCA has been doctoring pictures in order to gain support for a hunting ban. A series of adverts in the West Australian newspaper included a digitally altered hare, badly shot in the hindquarters. This is the original. Australian politicians clambering onto the anti-hunting bandwagon are beginning to notice that its wheels are falling off. West Australian Labour MP Lisa Baker took down a picture from her Facebook page of Joey and its mothers with crosshairs. She and the RSPCA are campaigning against the 2-year trial of recreational hunting on Crown land. Thanks to viewers including Ian Larner for sending this in. It's goodbye to the Union of Country Sports Workers. Run by volunteers, it was a member organisation of the TUC for more than 15 years. Its chairman, Rob Lowe, said in a statement that the time has come to recognise that the UCSW is no longer viable as a standalone organisation. An American hunter who failed to find his ammo discovered the answer inside his dog. This is an X-ray of Sonny Brassfield's 4-year-old Belgian Malinois dog Benno. It had eaten 23 rounds of .308s. A beautiful hunting area where we filmed in 2012 is under threat by frackers. A company called FAS Environmental Services wants to pump waste products from fracking, including methanol, chlorides and sulfates, into the Atchafalaya swamp in Louisiana, USA. The scheme has already been turned down by local planners, so FAS is asking again, and this time at state level. However, it's up against a retired American general, Russell Honore, who led the Pentagon's response to Hurricane Katrina and is known locally as the Raging Cajun. Visit gogreenarmy.com for more. And finally, a clothes shop in Hong Kong was subjected to a ham-fisted smash and grab raid. A wild boar fell through the roof and got trapped inside. Video shown by local TV stations showed the boar, which had apparently climbed up a ladder in the shop's back room, punching a hole through the showroom's false ceiling with a hoof. The 25-kilogram, metre-long young female was watched by an amused crowd of police and shoppers as the animal jumped off a display case and charged around the children's shopping store, knocking over mannequins and signs. It was eventually tranquilised by a vet and taken to an animal rehab centre. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now let's look at what you lot have been up to. It is Hallo Charlie.
Hello Charlie, Fergus here, just out in my back garden doing a bit of target practice with my new pocket poacher that I got from last week's show, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, so thank you for that, and keep up the good work. Cheers Charlie.
Hello Charlie, just went out shooting, fox shooting, got 2.
Hello Charlie, this is a cast and I'll show you in a minute what I was talking about, and it's just brilliant. I get the taxidermist up front credit and it's just really nice, and his heart is absolutely brilliant. That's what it's on. Is on a small perch of driftwood with a piece of lavender at the bottom, and it's just, it looks like he can jump up at you and start scratching you. It looks like, well.
That's it. Please send me your Hello Charlies via Facebook, YouTube, Dropbox, or email charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Please keep sending those in. Now, in the last of the current series of Outfoxing, Mike Powell's talking about thermal.
Right, let's get it the right way around. There we go. This probably has been the biggest revolution almost to night shooting there has been since night vision first came in. The huge advantage you have with thermal is that you will see everything that's out in the field, providing its body temperature is above the current ambient temperature. If you look at a field with any night vision, no matter how good it is, if the fox has got its backside towards you or the rabbit's partially obscured by a clump of grass, you won't see it. With thermal, it will pick up any little tiny part. So if you see a fox coming down a field and it goes behind a hedge, you'll see flashes of the image as it passes. Pulsar brought out their original HD 38 thermal imager spotter, which is identical to look at to this one. This was the follow-up, the HD 38S, which I found absolutely perfect. There's now the latest model, which is the HD 50S, which is better again. People coming into night vision for the first time, it's a very confusing field. There's so much, you hear so much on the internet sites of what's best, what's good, what's not so good. The only way you will ever learn what is good is to try a whole load of them, which isn't always possible. Again, Scott Country have a loan scheme where for a deposit you can try something and then decide whether you want it. Thermal imaging is not so complex because most of them, be it the pulsar, the FLIR, the guide, they all work perfectly well. They've all got different characteristics, and some people find one better than the other. This will pick up a fox out to, we'll say, 300, 350 yards, larger animals, deer, at greater distances. But for all intents and purposes, you don't need to spot anything further than 300 yards away. This little item is the Pulsar Apex thermal scope. It's built around the Pulsar HD 50S, same unit as is used in here, only in the form of a scope. Has various, as all these night vision units have, brightness controls, switch to white hot or black hot, there's all sorts, and focusing, you've got it all on there. There's a lot made about identifying your quarry, and the fear with some people with a thermal scope is because you're getting an image, you're not seeing the actual creature, you're seeing the heat signature it's giving, which will at distance be blurred. So you can look across a field 250 yards away and you'll say, that looks like a fox. If you had to put your house on the fact it is a fox at that moment, you wouldn't risk it. All you know is it's bigger than rabbits. Out to 150 yards, you will identify it clearly. But if you know anything about shooting, and you've done a lot of it, you'll learn very quickly to identify 95% at longer ranges by the way it moves, where it is. Your two conflicting ones largely are foxes and badgers. I think the ideal situation would probably be, and I have little doubt that one day it'll come, that you'll have a combined scope with thermal and night vision in it. It'll be expensive, I guess, but that doesn't seem to make a difference these days. There's an awful lot of expensive gear sold. It's a fast-moving business, night vision, of all sorts, image intensifier, digital. If I was starting off again, I wouldn't be despondent thinking, well, I've bought an Apex, I know that within a year there'll be something better than an Apex, because I have little doubt there will be. But that doesn't really matter if your Apex does the job.
From hot foxes to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. This is Good, Peregrine that kills and retrieves. Peach the Peregrine catches a wild bufflehead and brings the quarry to the falconer. For a languid look at hunting grey squirrel and wood pigeon with the shotgun, this film by MCQ Bushcrafters in the Cadbury's Caramel area. A day out boar hunting in France. This is Dindin Chass's first battue of the 2014-2015 season and tells the story of the whole day. Now, there's something clickbaity about kills on YouTube, so it follows that 50 kills in 50 seconds is a good idea for a promo for the upcoming season 2 of the Double Lung Outdoors on the Pursuit Channel in the USA. Staying in America, a getter is hog hunting in Central California, quail, rabbit, turkey, deer and of course pigs filmed on a GoPro. One of the best predator hunting channels on YouTube, O'Neill Ops, is out after coyotes in darkness using all the tech he can lay his hands on. Keith Warren is one of the few hunters who can use the word epic with good reason, and this is his epic Alaskan adventure. And finally, the Eastman family brings out its latest hunting mountain grizzly bears with Guy Eastman. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me, the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, if you don't like those, perhaps you will like this. It's our new clay shooting programme, Clay Sports, introduced by gold medalist Peter Wilson. This week we're at the English Open at High Lodge. All the action, all the stars, and quite a lot you didn't know about Aaron Heading. Talking of heading, where are our clay shooters off to? It's Baku in Azerbaijan for an Olympic selection, and you will find out more about that and other forthcoming clay shooting events in our roundup. Plus we're at Eriswell, the new green shooting ground at Laken Heath, and we review Bisley shooting ground. It's all in Clay Sports. Well, we are back next week. Please subscribe. Please go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Pop your email address into our constant contact box and we'll constantly contact you about our programme. This one, Fieldsports Britain, out every Wednesday, 7 p.m. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.